Joseph, her fiance, was what kind of man was he? Really stressing that today. He was a good man. And now notice this. Out of his goodness, he respected God, okay? Feared God, reverence for God. He did not want to do what? Disgrace her, Mary, publicly. So he decided to break the engagement. How? Quietly. This tells us a lot about Joseph. That one little verse right there tells you an awful lot about this man, right? It tells us who he was, his character. He was a good man, and out of his goodness, he respected the laws of God and respected God. But nevertheless, there's the other side of him that doesn't want, not so much another side, but another dimension of him that does not want to disgrace her publicly, although he knows now, at least he anticipates or assumes that she's been unfaithful to him. And so he's trying to process this. He doesn't want to disgrace her publicly, so he decides to do what? Break off the engagement quietly. Now, this is extremely vital to grasp here. Because had Mary been guilty of immorality, according to the law of Moses, the sentence that could have been placed upon Mary was the sentence of being stoned to death. Think about that for a moment. How do we know that to be true? Well, we know it from John chapter 8. When the Pharisees brought the woman caught in adultery, they came with stones and they said, hey, who's going to cast the first stone, right? And Jesus said, let him who is without sin cast the first stone. And so the idea was this woman caught in adultery was going to be stoned to death. And Mary, had she been found guilty of committing adultery, could have easily been stoned to death, and Joseph could have demanded that. He could have demanded retribution and revenge for the fact that he had been betrayed by his fiancée. And the law would have required that because of the seriousness of the betrothal situation that they were already in. But Joseph, having the option of revenge, having the option of retaliation, having the option of humiliating the one who perhaps he feels has humiliated him, having the option of, if you will, destroying Mary, certainly her reputation publicly, what did he do? Instead of going that route, he chose the pathway of grace. There was something deep in Joseph's character that would not allow him to hurt, that would not allow him to harm, that would not allow him to embarrass, that would not allow him to shame Mary at all. See, Joseph felt no need for retribution. He did not want to disgrace her, so quietly he wants to deal with the situation. Now, folks, this is very opposite from most people.